Now, a group of over 50 displaced people in Ndwedwe following April floods in KwaZulu-Natal last year are still living in tents. Provincial government announced last December that all flood victims had been housed and all mass care centres have been shut. The group says they thought they would be housed by now, as the tents they are living in were provided by a church together with the land. Newzroom Afrika's Nobuhle Modise joins us now live from Ndwedwe. Nobuhle, good morning. It's quite devastating to know that 10 months later there are still people who are displaced after the April floods.
Indeed, Katleho, and as I was listening to Dr. MEC Sihle, who's also the former premier of the province, it seems as though government is not communicating, but from what we remember and the last statement that was sent by the premier's office of Nobuhle last December, on the 27th of December to be exact, was that most mass care centres, all of them rather, have been shut and everybody has been housed. We even visited, one of those buildings where they were housing some flood victims who were based in the eThekwini area. We are now in Ndwedwe, where, as you mentioned in the intro, there's a group of about over 50 people who are still living in tents. And the interesting thing here is that they are saying they were last visited by someone from Human Settlements around July, but I stand to be corrected. They will correct me. And that was the last time that they had any interaction with anyone from government, and they are saying that they thought that when everybody was being housed and moved in December, remember that the government was saying, provincial government was saying that they were rushing for the Christmas rush so that families don't spend their Christmas and their New Year's in mass care centres, in halls. And here, as we see, these are tents, and these tents were not provided by provincial government. They were provided by a local church. The land as well, it's a land that is owned by the church, and they were planning to build here, and then they gave it to these displaced flood victims to then put their tents up here until a solution is found. But they're very aggrieved. They're saying to me that they thought that by now, in December, when the government was saying that everybody who was displaced from those April floods would be housed, they thought that they would be part of that group. But unfortunately, that has not happened. They also said that they haven't also received any visits from any, local government officials, including the mayor of Ndwedwe, which is Usfiso Mfeka. He also hasn't been here to see them. We know that just 2 days ago, the mayor of Ndwedwe local municipality, together with the Ilembe district mayor, as well as the eThekwini mayor, did hold a briefing where they were talking about the support that they would be giving to the Shembe Church, who is currently on a pilgrimage to two different mountains in the province. And nothing was mentioned about, this community here that we've identified and that we've found. And they're saying that they're very aggrieved because they're still here. They haven't heard anything from government. And as you can see, today is raining. And when it rains, unfortunately, it's uncomfortable for them, Katleho. I'm going to ask my colleague Lungelo just to give you, a view of what it looks like here. I'm going to move out of shot so he can show you these makeshift tents that were provided by a local church here. They also provided them with Jojo tanks, and just to where he's showing you now, behind those Jojo tanks is a structure where they do their cooking, and that little house is where over 50 people are expected to cook for themselves, and then they live in these tents here. So you can see the situation here, Katleho, is dire. It's sad. Just driving into here, it was unbelievable to see that there's actually a community of people who are living in tents, and it's raining, and that means water sometimes comes into their tents, and it's uncomfortable for them. And they thought that by now they would be housed and they would be with their families in proper structures. I'm actually joined by one of the residents here. Thank you very much for joining us, Babulu. Sondele baba, sizoxoxa kahle ungichazele ukuthi kwenzakalani lana inkinga yenu. Ukhona umuntu eke wafika la, sicale ngalokho. Ukhona umuntu eke wafika wazonibona wanichazela ukuthi nizosuka la noma kwenzakalani?
Akekho umuntu oke wafika la. into eyenzakalayo nje la asinakwa nhlobo umasipala wala awusinaki inhlobo njengoba sila eMthebeni isemthebeni lana indawo yakhona lana into eyenzakalayo sibona ngathi asinakiwe njengabahlali bala eNdwedwe so sizeza sizwa KZN inhlangano yezenkolo iyona elethe lamathende noJojo sakwazi ukuthi sikhuseleke sithola ama-shelter njengoba nibona nje so nje sinaleyo nkinga nje siyavota akwenzeki lutho kunjena njengoba nibona ngcono banikhona niyabona nani yeah
njengoba besifikile bosichazela ukuthi umuntu oke wafika la owakwa human settlement bafike nini banichazelani yini enikwaziyo ukwenzakalayo ngokuthi nizosuka nini la
bafikile ngisayikhumbula idate ukuthi kungomhla kabani but bafikile bathola nelist yethu so sisalindile ke njengoba nibone silindile akukho kunye okusaqhubekile
then ngicela ungichazele baqhula ukuthi unjani ukuhlala la njengoba kunetha manje into niphila kanjani
alright ukuhlala la akukho kahle njengoba phela siyazi ukuthi akufani nasendlini esuku yakhiwe ngama blocks ukuhlala la akukho right kuyanetha amatende ayavokomala njengoba nibona maseline kakhulu afaka amanzi ngaphakathi but uma kuzona nje imvula encane kuba ngconywana kufani so inhlalo ayikho kahle ngoba nje ngisho yonke into even amanzi abuye angasiphelela angabibikho bezameka abantu ke i-development committee iyona ke esixhasayo kakhulu futhi nayo isihambele isicheck ukuthi silale kanjani ematendeni yonke into nje iyona esicheckayo.
That is one of the displaced victims here, just speaking to us about the living conditions, and him also just saying what I said to you earlier, that the last person they spoke to someone, it was someone from human settlements, and he doesn't remember the date when those people did arrive here. But he's saying they've been left out in the cold and they've been staying here with no word from government on whether they will be moving from these tents or not.
Sure, that's rather peculiar. Thank you so much for that update. That's Nobuhle Modise coming to us there from Ndwedwe, where 50 people have still been left displaced 10 months after those April floods that took place in KZN. Thank you, Nobuhle.